Alola, we met with yet another two of those artificial Pokemon, and they were very powerful. Those Pokemon were Type Null and Silvally, and they were created for the Beast Killer project, a project made in order to fight the Ultra Beasts. And together with them, there was another system that was created. That system was the Arceus system, and it allowed them to have all 18 types. And yes, that sounds like they were based on Arceus. And they even said the Aether Foundation says that they found information about it in the Canalave library in Sinnoh. But hey, I'm not so a strainer, and that makes no sense. Let's get into it. Despite the Aether Foundation never saying the name Arceus and only saying that they based themselves on a mythical Pokemon from the Sinnoh region, it's undeniable that they used the Alpha Pokemon as an inspiration. I mean, other languages actually use Alpha instead of Arceus, and Arceus Laboratories is the name of a Pokéjob company in Galar, with their symbol clearly being the Arceus ring. So, Canalave Library and Arceus. One is a place that has a lot of stuff about myths, and the other one is a myth. So, it kinda all makes sense, doesn't it? Well, no, I'm saying it doesn't because in the Canalave Library there is nothing about Arceus. In fact, there's basically nothing in Sinnoh about Arceus. Almost everything about that Pokemon has been lost to time. Yes, you do find some lore scattered around in the plates, but that's about it. And they were not in the Canalave Library the last time we were there. You do find sometimes someone outside that can tell you some stuff, but they are not there for very long. In Pokemon Platinum, there is one hiker that we find in a few places around Sinnoh that eventually, after all his travels, tells us about Arceus and its myth. That man was there at the time, but likely isn't there anymore. It is a traveling hiker after all. In fact, it's very likely that the man is in another place that we have already visited. The other instance where we're told something about Arceus in Sinnoh is when, after we beat the Pokemon League, Cynthia herself tells us about the lore of Sinnoh, and without saying the name Arceus, dives a little deeper into what might have created our world and how that might have happened. If we look at any Sinnoh game we've played, that's about it. I mean, only very recently were we able to actually officially catch Arceus in the Sinnoh remakes, and so that makes sense. Things about this Pokemon are very elusive. But we did get a game before it where we learned quite a lot, it just wasn't in Sinnoh. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you had the event Arceus they gave away, we could visit the Sinjar ruins, and even meet the hiker there who could easily be the one from Pokemon Platinum, meaning that it did not stay there. This is where we actually see Arceus doing its thing, where Arceus' power becomes something real in front of us. That's where we find out that Cynthia and the hiker have learned a lot more about the Alpha Pokemon since we last met them. This is also when I realized that since not many people know about this Pokemon, I mean not even Cynthia's grandmother back in Celestic Town actually mentioned anything related to it, it is possible that only those two actually know something substantial about Arceus. I mean them and Volo, right? Because we know that Volo is alive and well since he did give away his outfit to the Lumiose Museum. And if we assume that Pokémon Legends ZA is the last game in the timeline, then he was pretty much very obsessed with Arceus still at the time of Pokémon Sun and Pokémon Moon. What this means is that it is entirely possible that this information that the Aether Foundation found and that led them in the direction of the Arceus system was possibly discovered through one of these people. The hiker would be hard to find. Cynthia would very likely not want to share the knowledge with people she didn't deem worthy. But Volo, well, Volo very likely would see in someone like Faba the same thing he saw in Giratina, something that could draw out Arceus. The sketches from Laventon's decks that are in the Lumiose Museum say that a copy of said decks was found in a private home in Sinnoh. They do not say who owned this home, but if it was Professor Rowan's, Kamado's descendant, it would be out a long time ago, as he would want the research to be out. I could see Cyrus hiding it, but after the Team Galactic debacle, I'm pretty sure that everything he owned was searched. But when it comes to Volo, well, he had to live somewhere, right? I think the Aether Foundation wouldn't be able to create something so close to Arceus if they didn't have information that not many people had and not many people would be willing to provide to them. And the only answer that leaves me satisfied is Volo once again leaving his mark in the Pokemon world. But what about you? What kind of things do you believe Volo did throughout all this time? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. But before I go, I want to thank my YouTube members Dash Plays, Good Old Deo and Shun Speak, and my Twitch subscribers Zanes222, Anubis here, the Dr. Joe and Lazarix for going the extra mile. Thank you so much for all of your support.